Hey everyone, welcome to Intelli Cup. This is the Elgin Classic. Oh, look how good I'm doing at clipping in right here. Thought it might be too easy today, so I just gave the whole field a head start on me. Um, Eventually get it going, but that really poor clip in leaves me at the back of the field, so I get to work my way back up through the pack, which luckily this is a fairly technical course and I feel pretty confident in the corners, so it wasn't too big of a deal to get back up there, but I'm just going to take you through a lap here. Some gaps opening on the hill pretty early. This course is both technical and has a pretty solid hill on it. So this is corner one we're coming into. It's pretty wide open. There's kind of some crappy pavement. That was sort of a theme for the whole week. Corner one was a really good spot to make up places. I'll show you in a second. Oftentimes people would be braking way too much into there. And if not braking too much, oftentimes the field would just bunch up on that hill because it would get strung out into the descent and then everybody would be working hard to bring it back. So that's corner two. Now we're on the back side of the course, and the next corners three and four are kind of together, just in one chicane here. It's going to be a little left-right, and all these corners you could take pretty fast if you weren't around people, but being in the pack changed that, obviously. So now we have the main section of the descent into corner five. This is probably the trickiest corner of the course. We take a little downhill dip here, and people were a little scared of it. Inside line was good, outside line was good. In between the two was not so great. It was a little bit bumpy in between the two if you didn't commit to inside or outside. Then corner six here, you're just kind of making a little shimmy going through. This is all pretty substantially uphill out of corner five through this point, and then it flattens out a little bit towards the start finish, but still going uphill here. Physical course, lots of tough corners, and to make it even worse, it was like 100 degrees on this day. That's why you see all these big ice packs that everybody's got going. So I just wanted to show you coming into corner one how it would bunch up. This was a spot where I got a lot of places back after my poor start. So here we are coming into corner one again. You see I'm just going to keep coasting. I don't want to grab my brakes, looking for any holes we can find, and eventually have to brake, but got some spots back there. Kind of committed to the inside on that one, but sometimes if you stay outside, you might be able to find some more space. So I think this is another lap or two later, and we're going to get some more spots on the inside. So you can see the field kind of bunched up again. I'm just going to keep pedaling. Boom, spots back. Just picking off spots where I can. There were some other spots on the course where I get like one or two guys, but corner one is where I was picking off big chunks. Here's another pretty big chunk. This is coming up the hill. We've already done the hard part of the hill, and it's starting to flatten out, and you see the pack is bunching up again. And I'm just going to look for the open space here. It's on the left this lap. Just keep pedals moving, not pushing hard on them, and look at that. Pretty much up to the front of the race here. I think that was probably within the first like 6 laps. That's what it took me to get up to the front. Not working crazy hard, but here we are. Now we're up at the front. We can actually play crit. It's a pretty technical hard course, like I mentioned, and it's super hot, which all of these things I thought would favor a breakaway. Didn't know how I liked my odds surviving in a breakaway, but sometimes all you need to do is find the break and then figure out the rest from there. So here's a little move that gets some separation. I'm going to just go across this real quick because I was in a good spot to do it. And for the middle of like 20 minutes of this race, I did a pretty good job being near the front, being in a good spot to cover moves. I might have been a little bit too aggressive with that because I definitely paid for it later and ended up not being in the moves on the day that stuck. So yeah, get to take that fast corner. When you get to take it close to the front, you don't have to brake as much, which is nice. You can take your own line, and was kind of at the front with momentum, so I decided to send a little move of my own here, and it didn't really get any separation, but it was more of a just like I was coming to the front with momentum, so figured I would try and preserve it and see if I could make something stick. Eventually, this race was pretty fast because everybody seemed to want to move to stick, so that kept the pace really high. But eventually, a move of one got away and stuck it. And the last few laps before they made their move stick, it was really hard. I was suffering a lot. And actually, I'll show you here. I think this is 6 or 7 to go. I'm pretty close to the back now. This guy in front of me, we don't take the corner that great. You see he's got a gap in front of him opening. That's from touching your brakes into the corner. And like once I saw that go, I was like, uh-oh, I don't have the legs to close this. Look, it's all single file in front of him. I was like, all right, very sober, pulling plug, flicking the elbow through. Sorry, guys. There's a few more guys behind me that come through, and I decide to try and grab this last wheel now that I've had a second to breathe. Yeah, 6 to go. And this is the last wheel coming through here. And the field was looking fast, strung out single file that time through. I didn't think I was going to see the field again. But figured this guy has the legs for it. I'm happy to try and take the ride, but I thought my race was like donezo at this point. I didn't think I was going to see the field again. But shout out to this guy for pulling me back here. It's so close. Yeah, still strung out. This field stayed pretty strung out and fast for the second half of this race until after these laps it slowed down and everybody kind of accepted that move of one was going, and everyone started thinking about the sprint finish, which meant they eased off a little bit. Yeah, so we're coming into the corner. Thank you very much, but I would like to see this corner for myself, not have to worry about anybody else taking it poorly, so shred that corner, get to carry all of my momentum. Look at that, just coming right back on. Worked out super well there, and yeah, like I mentioned, it got a lot easier after this point since the elastic had snapped on that move and everybody had decided they wanted to sprint after that. So last 5 laps got pretty slow. I that my legs for the sprint weren't very good, as you can see. I just got dropped, but decided I would at least try to be in an okay spot for it. So jumping ahead to 1 to go here, kind of close to the front, but there's this swarm coming up, which is going to hurt my position a lot. And quickly goes from like alright to pretty meh. And yeah, that happens a lot in Cat 2 racing in my experience. There's never really a team that wants to keep the pace high. In this race there was one big team, but their teammate was the one guy off the front, so there was nobody that was keeping the pace high at the end of this race, which just makes it absolute madness in the last laps. We're going kind of quick here, actually. With that zipper fully undone, it was hot. But I don't have the legs for this. People are coming past me. And at this point, I just want to get to the finish in one piece and ready to fight the next day. Because the next day is a pretty technical but flat course. Just coming up the inside, preserving momentum here, and this guy sends it hot. Woo! It's the guy who gave me the lift back, but that was not very friendly of him there. Sprinting for 20th place and getting sketchy in the corner. Yeah, I think I was like 20th or something. Nothing crazy. Just happy to finish this one in the pack, honestly. It was a super brutal day out there. Of course, it was hard enough, and then it was very hot. So, still a couple more days in Intelli to post for you guys, so make sure you come back for those. Thanks.